Yes, 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 yes. ISTV in the building. The Don also in the building. All right. I tell you, you're welcome to the show. You know what I'm talking about. Monday Sports Review. The game week 3. That's what we want to dissect. That's what we want to talk about. All right, let me welcome everybody onto this show. It's Monday show. All right. You know what I mean? I'm not the only one coming on to the show. I have the ISTV crew as well. We are ready. We are set. Let's get straight into it. Welcoming everybody they done in the building. Please do me a favor. Smash the like on the video. Subscribe anywhere you're watching from. You know what I mean? Subscribe. Share this video. Let's make it count. Let's join the community. Let's make it flow. Let's go on with this. It's all about week game 3 on EPL. Serie A, La Liga, Bundesliga. That's what we are looking at today. I'm also having the opportunity to welcome this great man, Robbie. Robbie, you're live. What's going on, bro?
Good evening to you, Don. Good evening to everyone in the house. And of course, good evening to our viewers and listeners out there. It's good to be on the show once again. And of course, like I say, this is where you want to be if you are actually looking for undiluted analysis, saying it as it is, and of course, giving you the best updates from the world of sport. Last week, yes, we saw a whole lot go down. Yes, I think it was not a disappointing weekend because all the big boys won except for Arsenal. And of course, it was not even a loss, it was just a draw. So I really don't think there's any much we can talk about that, except for the fact that Mikel Arteta has been experimenting with his squad, and that seems to be irritating some pundits. That is over there in the UK, who says he should go back to the basics. And of course, if he continues there experimenting with this rice and concussion he's cooking, hopefully maybe one of these days, the pot will get burnt at the end of the day. On that note, I say good evening, and of course, let us get started.
All right, let's get started. I like the rice concussion. I like that part. I tell you, Arsenal join at home. We get into it. Let me welcome this Kunle. Kunle all the way from Oshodi, that great city. That city that don't mess around. You can mess them up. That's where Kunle is from. Kunle, talk to me. Enter with your change.
Yeah, good evening, Don. Good evening to Robbie and every other person. Yeah, it's good to be back on the Monday sports review show. Yeah, what a great weekend it was. I mean, like the Premier League, we saw results where everyone, even including Manchester City, they really had to leave it late to win. So, and I think it just goes to show that go easy in the Premier League this season.
Never easy.
Liverpool had to, Liverpool had
magic.
To pull it late. Manchester United had to pull it late. I mean, it's crazy, and I think it just goes to show that it's going to be much tougher in the Premier League this season.
All right. Sheyomi Diora, you're so welcome to the shows. What's going on, bro?
Yeah, good evening, Don. Good evening.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, yeah, good evening, Don. Good evening, everybody. It's great to be back. Good weekend of football across the top 5 leagues. Good one for Napoli, winning again. We are still perfect in the league this season. 2 wins from 2. And I guess we're going to...
Kule, they hear this guy.
I guess we're going into the action, but I think in the Premier League we had some. We had so much drama in the Premier League, particularly the Liverpool game yesterday, and then also Man U coming from 2 goals down to beat Forest 3. So yeah, let's get cracking.
All right, let's get the show cracking. Nobia Prince, can you hear me loud and clear? You're welcome to the show. I can see you at the back.
Yes, I can hear you, the Don.
Yeah, how Arsenal can't draw now?
Alright, super. But really, it's just what it is. I think Arteta has himself to blame, really. I think he started with the wrong lineup, especially in the attack. Trossard has never played centrally, so I was particularly surprised that he opted to play him centrally. He's more on the wings, than cutting inside as an inside forward, but decided to play him as a centre forward, which was a mistake. I think unless barring injuries, Nketiah should not come off the bench. The guy should be starting. I even think that Jesus should actually be coming from the bench while he gains match sharpness, because there's a difference between fitness and sharpness. Then Havertz, yes, a lot of people have said so much about Havertz. He's not playing well. Yes, he's doing well when it comes to hold up play and everything, but he still doesn't understand our flow. That's the honest truth. And I think Arteta is just trying to shoehorn him into the lineup, and it's costing us. Our midfield diamond should be Partey, Rice, and Odegaard, and the front three should be Martinelli, Saka, Nketiah, Martinelli, Saka, Gabriel Jesus, Martinelli. Even if you choose to still want to invest with Arteta, I still think on that left side, instead of Havertz, Emil Smith-Rowe or Trossard or Fabio Vieira. Fabio Vieira did in 30 minutes what Havertz couldn't do in 60 minutes. So for me, I think it was all on it. Then, of course, we cannot blame Arteta for Arsenal conceding that late, because, from a corner kick, conceding that kind of goal was just embarrassing and very annoying, sincerely. But for the Liverpool-Newcastle game,
don't worry, we'll get straight into it. Let me dissect because I want you to talk about. I have a question for Arsenal, and we want you to throw more light into it. So, hold on, please smash the like on the video. The crew is set. We are ready to kick on. Let's do this, people. This is the news trending all over the social media. We'll talk about it. Nunes doing wonders, coming up from the bench. Somebody said 13 minutes, and he scored 2 goals. No waste time. And also, Kane scores twice as Bayern Munich beats Augsburg. Well, Kane is Kane. Kane is always Kane. And Neymar moving to Saudi Arabia. He says, I want to write new sporting history. I'm sure Robbie be ready to attack this comment from Neymar. I want to write new sporting history. I don't seem to understand that part. What kind of history he's talking about? So Robbie gets set for that. And also Mancini named new Saudi Arabia coach. Do you think Mancini can do magic for Saudi Arabia? So these are the things. So, and also kissing all over everywhere. The World Cup kissing unleashed social to tsunami in Spain. You know about the FA is under fire right now. So we're going to talk about that. So many things happening in the round of football. Quick one, go to look at the results over the weekend. I'm talking about the game week 3. Game week 3 started with Chelsea demolishing Luton. No doubt about it. Chelsea showing their worth. This time around, they got it right. Also, Bournemouth on Saturday was Spurs traveling with Bournemouth, and they won their match as well too with 2-0. Arsenal, we'll talk about it. That's the game, the talking point in this game, in this quarter. That's Arsenal, Fulham. Also, Brentford joins. They have a draw soup cooking on that Saturday as well with 1-1. And also Everton losing again to Wolves. So Wolves 3 points, and also Manchester United after 2-0 down, they came back to score 3 goals. That's what we're going to also talk about. Kunle gets set for that match review for that Manchester United Nottingham Forest as well. West Ham demolishing Brighton. I couldn't believe that game was West Ham was on top form, no doubt about it. And also Burnley losing to Aston Villa 3-1. Chelsea United lost to Man City after Man City came, make it count later on. And also look at the last game was Liverpool demolishing Newcastle. I think Newcastle has themselves to blame after going after Liverpool were 1 man down, they still couldn't do anything. So let's get started. Let's start with this newspaper report. Agents of Chaos, Nunes turned Liverpool savior. Nubia Prince, can you talk to me about this game? Did you watch it? Liverpool versus
the Dawn. I actually saw the game, and sincerely, I'm going to analyze it in 3 ways. I think number one, Newcastle were very unlucky because we had Almiron striking the bar. Alisson was well beaten. That should have been a goal. At 2-0, there would have been no chance for comeback for Liverpool.
I tell
Then they
you.
were full. Almiron also was guilty of wasting several chances. Callum Wilson too, they were wasteful. They had several chances to put the game to bed, bury it, cremate Liverpool, before they came back, but they didn't do that. Then Eddie Howe's tactical howler, because how do you explain removing the tormentors in chief of Liverpool? I'm talking about Anthony Gordon and as Isak. Anthony Gordon was fired up for yesterday's game. I don't know, maybe because he was let go by Liverpool, then picked up by Everton. He was a Merseyside, so he was fired up. We saw how he kept tormenting Arnold, and
Seriously,
as long as he was on that pitch, Arnold could not venture forward. Isak too, his presence meant the centre backs couldn't venture forward. The moment those guys came off for Callum Wilson and Abby Barnes, automatically what Jurgen Klopp simply did was he removed McAllister, moved Salah to the midfield, and played Nunes, someone that could play, centre forward and drifting wide, and that was how he scored his 2 goals. So it was tactical. If he has he has kept those 2 guys on the pitch, I can bet you Nunes would have come in yesterday because Jurgen Klopp wouldn't have been able to remove McAllister, because remove McAllister would have meant the entire midfield collapsing. But he could try that the moment he knew Isak was out and the Gordon too was out. So I don't know what Edia was thinking, but I want to believe that that's a learning curve for him. He wants to chill with the big boys, so he should learn that, because if he tries that in Champions League, they will mess him up so big time. They will mess him up so for me, I think that explains what happened yesterday. Yes, Nunes did fantastically well coming off the bench. He has never been that prolific ever since Liverpool signed them. I mean, he had 2 chances yesterday and he scored 2 goals. He's not that kind of player. If you have 3 chances, he will score 1.5. I mean, yesterday for me, he was the man of the match. 17 minutes cameo appearance, it was fantastic. Hopefully, Eddie Howe learns from whatever mistake he made yesterday, because for me, he just dashed Liverpool 3 points yesterday.
Yes. Welcome East into the show. Robbie, quickly talk about Neymar. He says he's telling you, I want to write new sporting history. That's the news. I laugh.
Well, I think Neymar, like I call him Minister for Enjoyment. Yeah. Because right now he has one of the most enviable football contracts in front of him. That is when he signed for Al Hilal. And of course, at least for Sheya and Kowa, and of course, we that follow this news very well, just to let you know that the club has more or less gifted him, not like outright giving, but he has a private jet at his beck and call. He has a big mansion, a 25-room mansion, and of course, he has top-notch cars that he said to drive around Saudi Arabia. And his pay package also is amazing. And one other thing that makes his clause beautiful is the fact that for every social media post that he drops online that talks about Saudi Arabia positively, he will be paid for it. And he will be paid in excess of about $50,000 per post. That is part of the things that we see in his contract. So for him going to Saudi Arabia, just like a top pundit said that for every footballer, they change their tone looking at the contract in front of them anytime they change clubs. Because one player will come and tell you, I've been supporting Liverpool from my mother's womb. Then tomorrow he goes to another club and he comes and tell you, I've been dreaming about this club since I was a child. And right now my dream has been fulfilled. So for Neymar, that was more or less the script he played out, saying that he wants to change things in Saudi Arabia, and of course, he wants to write out a new history. How much of an impact can he make in Saudi Arabia? I think is going to be a huge one. Looking at the arrays of stars that has gone to Saudi Arabia, you have Ronaldo, chief, more or less the man that opened the gate for all the stars that are in Saudi Arabia right now. Yes, the likes of Odion Igalo has been there before, but really nobody thought about it. The likes of Talisca have been in Saudi Arabia before. Nobody really thought about it, but the moment Ronaldo moved to Saudi Arabia, he more or less opened the gate for all the big names and big stars that we are seeing right now.
Follow join.
Kante, Edward Mendy, name them. They are all in Saudi Arabia right now, getting the best. Even Henderson from Liverpool is also Steven Gerrard. They are all there in Saudi Arabia. So With
Ah,
this move, I think it's going to be a new direction for Saudi Arabian football. Let us not forget the fact that Mancini has just been named the Saudi Arabian coach. So it tells you how much this nation, how much those who have sat down to think about the next way forward for football in Saudi Arabia, just to tell you the direction they are looking at right now. And of course, our own Nigerian, that is Mike Emenalo, is the director of football in that same country. So it tells you how much of a wave or how much of a movement what is going on in Saudi Arabia is. So for Neymar, let us see how much talking he can do on the field of play. He signed a 2-year contract. Let us see how much he can achieve in the next 2 years.
yes, let's go move on to Shaya. This guy scored 2 goals again, Bayern Munich. Kane, you have something to say? What's your thought? I mean, it's you don't start with that too. Kane don't start with that too. Shaya,
Yeah,
talk to me.
well, yeah, sticking to life at Bayern like a dog to water, to be honest. And with Harry Kane, someone who I don't think he's a system player. I feel he's someone who can thrive in any system because of his quality. He didn't have a preseason with Bayern, but he came in. Of course, we're not on his debut, which was in the German Super Cup. He had barely trained with his teammates, so obviously he only got a few minutes there, and I think he got about 5 to 7 touches. That we can understand. But I think since then, he has been pretty good for them. And the fact that he's someone who, when he drops deep, Bayern have runners who can actually go in behind and we know his ability in finding players in space, his creativity, his passing ability. I think that helps Bayern a lot. The fact that he can hold up the play also helps, and the fact that when it's time to be in the box, he can be a poacher as well. So I think Bayern have signed a really amazing player who can thrive anyhow they choose to play on that particular day. So credit to him for the goals he scored, and I hope finally for fans who are crazy about him winning trophies, hopefully get something at the end of the season.
You're right. That's for Kane there. Let's quickly talk about this guy kissing. I mean, the FA kissing as Luis Rubiales. Kunle, I'm going to start with you. What's your thoughts on this one? Kissing. He has really put this man on in pepper soup right now. He has been suspended by World Cup. I mean, World FIFA governing body. FIFA has already suspended him. Kunle, what's your thoughts on this man kissing?
Well,
Kissing a female.
Well, I'll try to be in the middle as much as possible. Although I would say everything is madness. Okay. I feel maybe we are not really getting the full side of the story, because it seems, according to some reports, it says that maybe there was actually something going on between him and Hermoso. Yes. So I think it wasn't just a spontaneous kiss, because I kind of find it. But at the same time, it could be because, it's just maybe like in the heat of the moment, right? That it happened. And if that is the case, I think it should probably be understandable. But, we live in an era where, I'm sorry to say this, but, a lot of things are seen as inappropriate against the female gender. I mean, we live in a world now where just by touching a lady, even if you don't touch her in a very sensitive part, she can be accused of rape. And that's how. So the thing is, and this is kind of like the similar thing with Mason Greenwood, where people say he's guilty. The fact is that he was charged with misconduct against a woman. The moment you have a case of doing something wrong against the female gender, you are going to get a lot of stick for it. And I think that is what is happening to the Spanish FA president. We are even getting recent reports now that they said his mother has locked herself up in a church and she's going on hunger strike, that until they desist from all these things, she's not going to come out from where she has locked herself. And she will go, imagine, Iarubu. So, that's why I said it's just madness. But I think it just goes to tell you that I think male football personalities need to be extra careful with what they do with the female gender. You have to be, all this one of they are human. It doesn't cut it again, because they are going to come for you. And you might not be able to handle it. And I think this is precisely why Manchester United decided not to continue with Mason Greenwood, because if he came in, how are we sure that he's not going to get this kind of reaction? Imagine if the Manchester United women's team said because Mason Greenwood was coming back, they are not going to play. That's going to be bad for the club's image. Even Benjamin Mendy, that we are saying Lorient has taken him, I don't know if people are aware, he has not yet been integrated into the team. He has not been integrated into the team yet. And, they've signed him since the summer. So I believe he had maybe probably the whole summer to train and all of that. But it seems, even if he is not yet match fit, it seems Lorient cannot still bring him into the team yet, because there is still backlash among some fans over his presence. So I think men just need to be careful around women.
I tell you,
yeah, you go chop arms.
All right, Elise, I want to hear your opinion on this saga, the kissing game. Elise, over to you.
Well, for me, I just feel there are different ways to skin a cat. When you look at the incident, face value, that day when Spain where they were mounting up the podium, wanting to be awarded the trophy for winning the Female World Cup, this same person hugged and kissed several other female players. So why this lady's own was different, they had to do it lip to lip, is what I don't know, and it's what I kind of assume for him. Maybe it could be argued it was a me to you moment. He was happy, he was, in an ecstasy moment, saying his girls won, or they've won the trophy, and he was overjoyed. But like they always say, if you are in a kind of position where the position that you sit in is a very sensitive position, emotional quotient has to be greater than intelligent quotient. Wherever you go to, you have to be able to, comport yourself. I felt the guy who is what's his name again? The Spain FA Federation boss, or whatever, president, chairman, whatever title, didn't control himself that much. He was carried away. Yes, your girls have won. Possibly you might have backed them. We don't know the behind story. Possibly has been a pillar of support to these girls, push them emotionally, psychologically. And it's just like a father or a guy, a man, when you see your first child come to earth, there is this joy that comes all over you. Like for me, for example, when my first child came to earth, I was over the moon. That day I was driving home. I was driving at the point of over 120. I was like, hey, what's going on? Guy, calm down. Just take it easy. We're humans. We cannot take that out. But, like I said, you must always learn to put that caution in. You hugged and you kissed others, but why this same person? Why this particular person? Why did you have to kiss the person differently? So that the case is left for him to answer. Now, it could be argued. Could it be a culture thing? We know in Africa here, a hug, if hug don't they pass 30 seconds, something done the inside. Do you understand? Over here in Africa, if you hug the feminine gender and you are holding her too much, don't they pass 30 seconds? People look at you like, what's going on? But over there, you see them, it's a way of respect. It's a way of showing respect to the other person. Be it, even the guys, they peck each other. Now, from a guy to a female, they hug and they peck each other. Maybe you wanted to peck, maybe you wanted to do, mouth can't jam mouth. So this thing is very difficult. But for the lady to come out to say the kiss wasn't consensual, for the lady to have now come out and say the kiss wasn't consensual, now, how are we going to judge this story? Like for me, I'm just going to be in the middle, wait to hear what the judgment will be. But like we always say, the take home here, if you occupy any position, you have to be very, very careful of the actions that you carry out, because it can come back to bite you in the butt.
Only be careful.
All right, please, let me quickly just wade in onto this story. Give me a minute or two.
This is exactly, sorry to say this, but this is exactly why I always say it, that it's not, I'm not saying anything bad about myself, but see me, I don't want to be a celebrity. I want to enjoy life. I don't want to
like your quiet life.
Celebrity will be being in the spotlight. I don't want it, please. I want to enjoy my life where I can. You understand? Because it's just ridiculous. But I get all these things is because they are in the spotlight. Because these kind of things go on in everyday life, right? And no big deal about it.
Sorry. You know what? Aside the fact that we might argue that this goes on in everyday life, you don't
Yeah.
go around kissing all your friends, male
No,
or female. Wait. I am going somewhere because as of yesterday, I read some classified documents as regards the tenure of this guy that goes back about 5, 6, 7, 8 years. In fact, that goes as far back as 2014, 2015. So it tells you that for someone like him, yes, I might not be there in Spain to understand how this whole thing works. You could argue it is in the heat of the moment, but as learned people that we are, please, can we say for certainty, in the past 10 years that we've been watching sports, have we seen anybody kiss either a man or a woman on the lips during a celebration? An official that is presenting a medal, either at the Olympics, either the UEFA Champions League finals, either even at the last World Cup in France. The last World Cup for women was in France. The last World Cup for men was in Russia. Have we seen any of these things? The president of Croatia came on board the finals of Russia 2018. As beautiful as she was she seen kissing anybody? No, she was not kissing anybody.
She hugged you, tight hug.
Yes, I agree totally with that. Look at the position of this man's hand on the head of this lady. Look at the position.
Why? Yes. Now this is why in a certain vein, I actually think maybe something might be going on between the two of them. And I want to actually strongly believe it. So if there is even somebody I have a problem with, it is actually Hernoso. Because she first came out and said there was nothing wrong. She didn't have an issue with it.
Her first response was, I did not like that. That was her first response. She didn't say there was nothing wrong. Her first response was, I did not like that.
Oh. Okay, fine. Okay, she said
whatever
she didn't
response that was attributed to emotion. Yes, she said
but now she now came out. But now she has changed her tone to be like there was nothing wrong with it. Yeah. So
now I will drop the link that gave you that idea on our group after the show. There was never a report from her personally saying that there was nothing wrong with it. I can tell you that for a fact. You can take it to the bank. There was never a time she came back and said
She said it's not consensual. That it isn't consensual. That was what I read.
That's what she said now.
So what I'm saying now. So if Kule is coming with the suggestion saying that she said there was nothing wrong with it, she never said that. She never said so. It was
Prof. It was Robbie, wait. Let me ask. Hold on, Robbie. Prof, you are just joining us. See, there's this something that is going on. No? I don't know whether the way you are looking at this, the woman, the lady said she doesn't.
Prof, that's fresh.
Fresh boy, talk to me. Kissing.
No, I don't understand. Are we talking about the lady at the World Cup?
Yeah. Yes.
That I read about the story, but I don't know what is happening right now. I just know that the man was it was in a moment they had just won the World Cup. Okay, and then according to him, what I read, I think he said the lady to lean forward to kiss him, to give him a peck, and he also, because it was good with joy and everything, did it. So I don't know what is there any allegation? Is there anything happening with it? I don't know. I've not read the story so far, but
they've already suspended the guy, the FIFA governing body.
Suspended.
So,
and
the FA has already opened investigation on the case. But let's move on. I want to talk about Arsenal. Over the weekend, they drew the game 2-2, and they dropped points. I can consider one as during the Aries React on the match review. You may mention about like maybe you already saw it like it's a 3 point, the players already thought they're going to finish Fulham, because I don't think Fulham has ever won at the Emirates. So another system, they're talking about system all over social media, backlashing Arteta, using the system is wrong and so on and so forth. Even Nubia Prince already touched some aspect of it. I want you to give us a clue of what really the way Arsenal is going. Is it he has to go back to basis for you, or he should still stick with the formation? And also the issue of Kai Havertz. People have already been nailing this guy. I mean, go to hell, go away, Chelsea should. And even Prof
on Kai Havertz.
you speak. You will sell. We will sell Kai Havertz. That is sell Mount. So, so yeah, it is. Over to you on the Arsenal game 2-2. Don't forget next week. Look at this: Arsenal versus Manchester United. Be careful. All right. So much.
Yes, even on the Friday preview show, I mentioned it. Fulham, their record against Arsenal at the Emirates has been shambolic. They've not even won in the last 10. Possibly the best they could get was 2 or 3 draws. But Saturday's event, shaped out in such a way that, it was just too easy for them. Getting that first goal, I'm sure Fulham, the entire team or the entire fan base never thought that they were going to score a goal that cheap. And that has been a chink in the armor of Arsenal, giving easy goals away. I don't know, possibly it's a psychological thing, because if you look at Arsenal's record in the EPL, I think with the not considering at Crystal Palace, I think they have the second best defense away record in the country. And when they go on away games, they are laser focused, they're sharp.
Yeah.
You could see them against Crystal Palace, one man down, so how they defended till the 97 or 98 minutes of that game and without conceding. Now, looking at Emirates 6 days later or 5 days later, look at the scandalous or horrendous mistake made to concede the first goal. So for me, there's a bit of work to be done from the part of the psychological team, because I know most football teams now have people that play the role of psychologists, people that work on your psyche, people that work on your emotions, everything that has to do with not physical, but something that has to do with the mindset, which is the brain, because a lot of organizations are spending a huge amount of money towards that. And I'm sure Arsenal are paying loads of money to some personnel that is handling that, which we saw in the All or Nothing series. I think that guy, the Spanish guy, has a lot of work to do, because I mentioned it in my review that on the face value, looking at the books, it was 3 points. It was an easy game. It was a game that you should just coast through without having any issue, but there were bumps in the road. Now, if I had come out that same day to do the reactional video, possibly I might have said a whole lot of BS against Arteta. But I just had to allow the smoke to die down, and I had to think and sleep over it, and also see myriads of people's opinion. And what I can see in this case, like I mentioned earlier, there are different ways to skin a cat, and there are different ways you look at the situation, half full or half empty. So I'm going to look at it as half full. Despite the fact that we were 1-0 down, I saw something in that team. That's the fight, the hunger. Because if it was an Arsenal of 4 to 5 years ago, that's how we would have battled, played, and at the 92nd minute, Fulham would score the winning goal, and that's it. Capiche. 3 points to Fulham, 0 points to Arsenal. But I saw an Arsenal team that came back, they fought, and now in coming back in the fighting, they got the lead. Now to keep the lead was not a problem. If you notice in my reviews of the past games that I've reviewed for Arsenal this season, I've mentioned 2 things: sloppiness and also silly mistakes, cutting out silly mistakes. So I think that chunk, if that part can be worked on, why go on away games and you don't concede? But when you come to the Emirates, I'm sure bookmakers can also go on. This game is coming on Sunday now. If I'm a punter, I'm going to say Manchester United to score, and I'm going to put money on it. Manchester United will definitely score. So there's a lot of work to be done there. Yes, the issue of system Like I said, I'm going to look at this half
Yeah,
full.
system.
I criticized. I've been a supporter of Arteta, but if he does anything wrong, I'm not going to hide and say I'm not going to criticize him. I criticize him for what he did on Saturday. The system, obviously, he has been trying from game week 1. Now, up to game week 3, shows that
It's not
it's
working.
not working.
Hmm.
It didn't work. Not that it's not working. It did not work against Fulham. It did not work because he used the same tactics against Nottingham Forest. He got away with it. He used the same tactics against Crystal Palace. He got 3 points. But at that stage, it did not work. And a bit of changes he made in the second half. We saw where the rest is history. We saw what those changes made and what impetus he gave us in that game.
In that game.
And why that loss of concentration, I didn't understand. That is the point I made out. On the issue of the system, like I said, when Ben White was bought as a central defender, Arteta pushed him to the right back. A lot of people shouted. A lot of people said all sorts. And at Ben White today, we can see what he has done in that right back position. That's an example. Granit Xhaka, the entire Arsenal fan base wanted Granit Xhaka out of the team. But this was the same guy, Arteta, that stood by Xhaka and said, see, I'm going to give you a clean slate. Whatever you've done before, I wipe it out. I wipe the memory. I wipe all issues out. Now I'm giving you a clean slate. Start all over again. The rest is history. The 3 seasons Granit Xhaka played under him, we know what Granit Xhaka has become. I wasn't so particular about them selling him because I wanted him to still be part of that team. Even if he doesn't start, the leadership skills he brings to that team will add value at the back room. But they sold him. So that's one issue. We've seen what he has done with Granit Xhaka. These are just 2 examples because of time. Now, this issue of Havertz, I know Havertz divides the opinion of entire Arsenal fan, similar to Ozil. Now, in this case, Havertz is a player that has signed for Arsenal already. There's nothing we can do. I saw one funny video of an Arsenal guy on AFTV shouting, Saudi Arabian guys should come and buy Kai Havertz. That's the most stupidest thing ever to do on a live show. You have family, you have a son, you have a wife, and coming up to a fan TV to be saying all that is bullshit. Permit me for the French word used there. So Kai Havertz is here to stay. 5 years signed. He has only used 1 month out of his contract. The only thing I would plead with Arteta to do right now is stop the experimenting. The experimenting is working.
Should he drop Havertz? Should he drop him in the next game?
For me, I was telling someone today, if I were to be in Arteta's shoes, I will not be starting Havertz. You know why? First off, the pressure will be on him because already when you signed him, it was a signature. It was a transfer that no one saw coming. We just heard it. It started with a bit of rumor. Then the next thing was seeing videos emanating and filtering around the social media that he has signed, he has done. And I'm like, where did this come from? And ever since then, a lot of Arsenal fans have jumped on it. Some backed it up, some didn't back it up, all because of we know where Havertz is coming from and we've seen how he has been for the past 2 seasons. But today, I could say 90% of all the trolls are from Chelsea fans. And I just want to tell Chelsea fans to pipe low. Do you understand? You could see a lot of Chelsea fans putting stuff on social media.
Don't mind them. They sell months for me.
No, everybody has opinion. Everybody has his own right to say whatever they want to say. But as for me, if I were to be in Arteta's shoes, I am not going to start Havertz. I will work based on his strength because everybody has a strength or a weakness. Nobody is a dullard. Nobody is a fool. Everybody has something in them that you can capitalize on. What I would have done if I was in Arteta's shoes is I would just let him understand. See, guy, I'm not starting you because it's too early to do this. I don't want to put pressure on you. Now the pressure is there. The jury is out. And I'm surprised 3 games and everybody's saying Arsenal is done for. If I'm to look at 6 seasons, like 6 seasons from last season, Manchester City, the holy grail, the people we look up to. Last season, Manchester City failed to win 10 games. They lost 5 and they drew 5. Newcastle yesterday, that we all are padding up like, yes, they are the best thing, next thing since sliced bread. We saw what happened. Despite playing against a one-man down, they lost at home. And I don't see anybody criticizing Eddie Howe. I don't see anybody maligning Eddie Howe online. But I understand at Arsenal, like this, we say we get the pylon from everybody, and we're used to it. But what I would just say is simply, if I were to be in Arteta's shoes, I wasn't going to start Havertz. Possibly bring him on. Bring him on when the opponent is tired, because he's work on his strength, basically. Just work on his strength to see how you can bring the best out of him. And the rest is history. Possibly will do good. But against Manchester United, no experimenting. Revert to what has worked for you. Zinchenko is back. Jesus is back.
Only the
If you
year
don't want
round.
to play- If you don't want to play Jesus, you
Yeah,
can play. You can
They
play.
won't beat
What's his
me.
name?
Ah.
You can play. No,
make them
Manchester
try and
United,
first.
they're in a whole lot of mess. If we were to talk about Manchester
All right,
United, but let's not go there.
Yeah,
But that's
because
just
of
my
our
take.
time.
That's just
All
my take on how.
All right, thank you so much, Ace. Prof, why you can't sell Harvard? You want to say something about Harvard and
Yeah,
this
quickly.
amount? Quickly, please,
Yeah,
quickly.
on average, you can see. Look, for me, it's on Arteta as far as I'm concerned. Why I'm saying so is when Mourinho came to Chelsea, 13-14, when he came back, his second coming, 13-14 season, right? I've said it on this channel before that football is like a puzzle. When you start the season and you're trying to put in players, you fix this one here, this one there, you don't know how it's going to pan out until the season goes and you see that, oh, I'm closer to top 4. I'm closer to the title. That is how football works. You don't know the end of football until the season goes on, right? When Mourinho came into 13-14, he went on, called them little horses. We were against Liverpool and Man City, and he got closer. It wasn't far off from the title. He finished third. And what did he do? When he knew that his team is capable of challenging, he went next season and bought 3 players, experience. He got him Cesc Fabregas. You know what you're getting from Cesc Fabregas. Diego Costa, who was one of the top form strikers at the time, and Didier Drogba, the man who knows the dressing room very well. My problem with Arteta is that you can never be in a better position as a young manager than you were last season. You a fantastic signing, Yuri Timber, young boy, coming very good. You can play at the back. Fantastic signing, Declan Rice. I would never till tomorrow understand why you would go for a player like Kai Havertz for 65 million when you're a player who has so much question marks on him, who till tomorrow nobody knows is you the manager do not even know where he's going to play. This is not a time to gamble. Not when you're looking at the title. Your team came very close. All you needed to do was very simple. Go in there and get him experience. Players, round pegs for round holes, square pegs for square holes. Easy as that. 3 players is all you needed. You did well with Rice, with Timber. The Havertz one, I don't understand. You don't know where it's going to play. So much question marks. It won't give you double figures. It won't give you so much goals, so much assist. What is the use of that signing? Now the pressure is now on Arteta because I can imagine discussion with Edu, who coughed out 65 million for such a player. We would have told him. Now the pressure is on Arteta to make that signing work. That is why he keeps using him. I won't be surprised. I don't expect him to start Havertz against United because of the whole backlash.
He's going to start.
Arsenal fans are really.
He's going
Most
to.
of them are raging.
The guy don't agree.
Right?
He go start now.
If he uses Havertz, because as a manager, one of the things managers don't like is they don't like to feel like they've made the wrong decision, especially when you're spending that much money. They want to prove that the reason why they got this player, they know why they got this player, and they want to make sure they prove the reason to the fans and to the point and to the critics out there. I won't be surprised if he continues to use it. Meanwhile, this guy is slowing down the play in the attack. For me, he's slowing down the game for them in the attack. And then because of Havertz's introduction, there's a domino effect. He wants to bring him into the team, and because of that, you're trying to use a 3-2-4-1 formation. That match now. He started Partey. I saw Partey starting at centre back in the first minute. I don't know if anybody noticed it. In the first minute when they considered that goal, Partey was dropping into the centre back. As soon as they considered the goal, Partey had to go to the right back. So there's so much tinkering going on right there. And I think, like he said, the manager should go and settle and make sure he does, like they said, like people say, if it's not broken, you don't fix it. Go back to what has gotten your team, who nobody felt was going to challenge that season. You had a certain formation, a certain pattern of play that took you there, that made you stay up there. Go back to there, reverse back to type. And for me, he needs to do away with Havertz as soon as possible. Maybe use him as an impact sub or a utility player out there.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to ask Nubian Prince. Are you still there with us? All right. Nubian Prince.
Yes, I am. I'm here.
You hear? We are talking about Arsenal right now. People are talking different opinion about Kai Havertz. You know, you being an Arsenal fan, What's your take on this situation? And also, just 2 minutes, before
Yeah,
we wrap up
I
the show.
I agree with them a bit. The reality is, I've also said it, that if what you are looking for in Carabas is to win area balls, I think he does it pretty well, because obviously he's 6 foot, so it's understandable. But beyond that,
Mm.
he's slow, and he's still coming to terms. Arsenal Arteta ball is about moving the ball quickly, and Havertz cannot do that. There is this particular footage that is going around. He had this chance. There was no defender on him, nobody close to marking him. He should have just turned and go forward. You were behind, you were trailing. What did Kai Havertz do? He just passed back, and passing.
Nubia Prince. Oh Lord. Kai. Chai. Well. Well, this weekend, before we wrap up the show, it's going to be a loud statement about we're going to go all the way from this match coming up this weekend. I've seen Robbie saying they should use Kai Havertz for between they should use Kai Havertz for Mayu game.
Bro, don't. Yeah, I just have I don't know. Maybe I understand what Nubia Prince is trying to say there. You know, at times this thing comes with pressure. I'm not going to lie to you. And I'm not throwing any band here, but a typical example is Enzo Fernandez, that was bought after the tail end of the World Cup, did fantastically well at the World Cup with the Argentine squad. Came into the Chelsea squad. He didn't hit the ground running, did he? It took him a lot of time, despite the amount of money that was put on him. And to be fair, nobody jumped on his back. And I think
No, I disagree. I disagree.
No. Well,
bro.
you come in
Enzo
there,
Fernandez
you come
was
in there
like,
and say,
he did well. He did well.
that's what I'm saying. If you say he did well, he finished with the team. So in this case, now let's look at it. In this case, Chelsea finished a season before. They finished in the European sport, and you brought in Enzo Fernandez. I'm not making any comparison here. Just try to understand my logic. And you brought in Enzo Fernandez for 80 million, over 80 million pounds, or 100 million, if that's the case, plus add-ons. And the team regressed to finish 12th outside a European sport. So if it was an Arsenal that bought Havertz now and regressed, finishing.
But are you saying that we should give time to Havertz? I mean, you were saying
exactly. That
time.
point I'm trying to bring here is I'm trying to understand.
You know, there's some Arsenal that they're saying they don't want him. It's not only Chelsea. It's not only those ones are baby Arsenal fans. They don't know what they're saying. What's the meaning of that? Someone that signed a 5-year contract. What's gonna happen? Throw him in the bin or just take him to London Bridge? Anybody should come and carry him. No, things don't work that way. Because you have a headache does not mean you should cut the head off to solve it. I just feel he's on Arteta's table. For me, the pressure is just the pressure I'm talking about. And the exact thing I'm trying to mention is, if you notice where this pressure is coming from, social media angle, if you're to analyze it, the pressure coming from the social media angle, majority of them is from Chelsea fans. And I'm not going to lie to you, majority. Now, if you check the keyword of Havertz and Mount for the past 2 weekends, you see that those 2 words are trended, if there's any word like that, so much to the fact that they've even made them popular. Even someone that does not watch football will know the name Havertz and Mount. Yes.
My wife, she's not a football fan, but she's always on social media. She was asking me the other day, sorry, who is Mount? Who is Havertz? And I'm saying, they are the players that Chelsea sold to Manchester United and Arsenal respectively. So you should understand. You don't expect Manchester United fans to go on social media and be talking about Mount. Despite the fact that Arsenal fans were talking about Havertz, you would see that opinions are divided. Some would say, if you're putting on the Arsenal jersey, I'm going to back you regardless. And that's me. For me, I don't have any problem about Havertz in the team, but it's just the system Arteta is playing that I'm having issues with, basically. So the pressure should just be, should be put down a bit.
Because of our time, look at the EPL table. Man City, I don't know who's going to stop this team. I think by December they could clinch the title. they have a fantastic game over the weekend. From
Who wants to dash them the title by December? I want to
if
understand.
anything can happen.
Don,
I
did you say they had a fantastic game over the weekend?
Well, scoring the
No.
late it's not a bad game for me.
See how it's fantastic.
Don't let us turn the heat on you. Don't let us turn the heat on you. It's a fantastic game.
Meanwhile,
You infidel, please go away, please.
meanwhile,
City have not been spectacular, the
I
Don.
know they are
So,
not, but
it's not.
they are grinding it. That's the way of champions.
Hey,
Champions
then,
always do
but you can't grind
something.
every.
Arsenal supposed to win that Fulham game. They couldn't.
Don, that was
that's
what I said.
part of it.
Don, that was what I stated earlier. Manchester City, the best team in Europe or in the world last season. Look at their league. They failed to win 10 games out of 38 games in the league last season. Look
And
at
the
it, the
sickness.
stats are there.
And
Do you understand? No, so if a team drops points, does that mean that's the end of that team? Or if a team decides to drop points
You're
at
right.
home?
You're right.
So
But
I
there's
want
some
us to
situation
look at
whereby I feel they shouldn't. I mean, there's
Man
some games.
City dropped points against Everton. Everton that we all have nailed on this platform to say they are going on relegation.
They beat
Nobody
Man
saw that coming. I'm sure if Pep Guardiola, if someone that took Pep Guardiola that morning that, hey, the game you're playing against Everton, you're going to drop points. I'm sure Pep Guardiola would tell you,
Are
you don't know what
okay?
you're saying. So it's
Yeah.
football. Do you understand?
Yes,
So for me,
yes.
the faster or the better Arteta learns from this. I'm even happy that this thing is happening on game week 3. So it helps us. It gives us direction into the but it's too early. It's too
All
early.
right.
Come on.
I got to go right now. Kunle, thank you for joining us. I think it's Sunday. It's going to be a massive game. It is. I know you won't be able to watch along. You're always scared because Man U is playing. It's going to be a fantastic game, no doubt. So Kunle, Man U, we from 2-0 down, we made it 3. Quickly, just 1 minute. What do you think about the game? People want to hear you.
Well, I know
1
many
minute,
people.
please. Yeah.
Yeah, I said I know many people would say it was a disappointing game because they would be like, "Oh, Nottingham Forest should not be conceding. It should not be scoring 2 goals first at Old Trafford and all." But look, I think that kind of result is a hallmark of Manchester United because
Absolutely.
we saw these kind of things over and over again under Sir Alex Ferguson, right? We saw it under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, especially during the 2021 season. So it's not surprising me, and you know why? Because I've come to understand that until United is under pressure, let's not forget they even did it against City at the Etihad, if you remember.
Yes.
Jose Mourinho, where Pogba scored in the second half. I don't know, but it seems to be that when United is on the back foot, that is when they get all the energy to push. You might say it's awkward, but it's a hallmark of the team. So I would say it is a great win because it's not easy to come back from 2 goals down.
Yeah.
They've done it over and over again over the years. So for them to have done that again, I would say kudos to them. Yes, you would want them to, push, be more dominant at the start and see off the game. But I think United are not there yet. So if they can be pulling this off and be getting 3 points, which at the end of the day will at least get them a top 4 spot, they should carry on, please. 3 points is all that matters.
There are 3 Manchester United fans on this platform right now, and I want to, put the pressure on you guys. Should you guys be worried? Because looking at it tactically, looking at the hallmark of Erik ten Hag's formation right now, you put a Casemiro, you put an Eriksen, and you put a Bruno Fernandes in the middle of the park. Mount is injured, so I'm sure that is what you would come to play at the Emirates.
Absolutely.
And I've always said it here. I said it throughout last season. Eriksen, Casemiro, they are not the type that are active when Manchester United are not in possession of the ball. The only thing Casemiro goes for is he smells danger and he gets it up. But when you're talking about the out of the activity when they are not in possession, Eriksen don't have it, Casemiro don't have it. And Nottingham Forest showed us on Saturday. Those goals, look at Awoniyi. Look at how easy it was to just go through the middle and nobody was there to, it took Rashford to run after him.
You say you don't mind Rashford.
And you're saying that Manchester United is prepared for the season. Remember the Casemiro and Eriksen of last season is not the same this season. Age will catch up on them. The way they were last season is not the way they will be this season.
Yes.
Bruno Fernandes doesn't know how to defend. You and I know. It's always good when he has someone doing that shit. And Erik ten Hag have someone that can do that job, which is McTominay, and he puts him on the bench. I just smell. See, I worry for Manchester United. You know, on Friday I was here supporting you guys saying Nottingham Forest is an easy job, but with what I saw, if I'm a Manchester United fan, I will be worried, and that's
Ule, we are not worried.
Yeah.
Shebi?
Don't worry. Well, I feel Ten Hag will find a way. I feel yes. All what Davies has said is not wrong. Like I've said, Manchester United just have a way of when the chips are down.
I got to
when
go.
they are against, they find a way to pull through. So
Yeah,
that's what
I got to go.
All right.
Please subscribe to our channel anywhere you're watching from. This is Intercontinental Sport TV. Today is Monday. This is how we do our review. Thank you for coming, Kunle. Thank you so much. It is at the same time. Thank you so much. We will see on Friday. That's where we'll do. You know what's up. I'll be here fully. All right, Robbie. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much.
All right, Prof. The same time. Next this Friday. Thank you so much. All right, please smash the like on the video. I got to go right now. Please subscribe to our channel. Let's grow together. Let's do it together. We'll be live again on Friday for our Friday sports preview. On the same time, on to the next one. Bye for now, everybody.